All right, people, we're burning the midnight oil, okay? And what do I mean by that? We've got a situation at the compound. You see what I did when I worked on, let me just show you. When I worked on little Susie, okay, I'm going to show you what I did down here. I went to get it inspected the other day, because New York State requires an inspection, okay? And what I did was I got about 480 miles. I said, I'm good, I'm going to go get it inspected. Because remember, with a 2004, you can have one non-ready, which everything was actually ready. I get going down the road, and lo and behold, the engine light pops back on. So I know it's an evap code because I read it, right? But as you see up in here, this evap pump, okay, and inside this little box right here, there's a brand new charcoal canister. All the lines are brand new, okay? That's rubber connections and rubber fittings and elbows and unions. All the clamps are new, okay? Everything's brandy new on here. And up front under the engine bay, the actual purge valve has been changed as well. So I know the evap system is like new, right? Well, you know, here's the other thing with the evap systems that they don't, well, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but you have to make sure all your lines, okay, these are going up to the filler neck. You see the filler neck? Now, there's a little surface rust, but there's no holes in this. So my mind tells me, well, there's one or two things that could happen here. It could be a pinhole in the filler neck, which is possible, right? Because a lot of salt falls up in here. Now, mind you, this vehicle I bought back in 2011. And I never did know about fluid film back then, or I would have fluid filmed this. Okay, but she's actually still, for the year, it's not in that bad a shape. As you know, I put a brand new exhaust on this car, as you can see. New muffler, new intermediate, new flex pipe, everything's good all the way up through. So I've got about $700 in this car. Now, as you know, it's not that easy to just run out and find another replacement car. Even if you do find one, you don't know. You may have to put a couple thousand into it. You really don't know. So I like to keep what I have. You know what I'm saying? Because this little one here is just, it gets me back and forth to the airport mainly. The other thing is, so I fill it up with gas. I said, what I'll do is I'll fool the system, because I can have one non-ready. Okay, I'll fool the system and I'll go fill the tank up. Okay, here's the other thing you got to look at. You see this here? Hold on one second, people. You see this right here? This part right here, this is the only other metal line. You can see it right here and here. See it? So this, that's part of a, what is that part of? What the heck that is? It must be a vent or something. Whatever the hell it is, it's broke off, so I gotta look at that. But anyway, anything like this that's all puffed up like this, let me get you up there and show you. See how it's puffed up right there? I'm going to have to cut that back, and we're going to have to change that line because there's a rubber connection, right? What we'll do is we'll come up, let me show you, we'll come up here where it's better steel, and we'll clamp it there, and we'll run a rubber past all this junk, and we'll find another good spot like right in here, and we'll go ahead and we'll make sure that's all secured. Okay, we're going to check it here and make sure there's no other breaches. Okay. Because that line ain't too bad to get to, but seeing that the tank's out of it, now's the time to do it. All right. But the scenario there, oh, I know what that line is now. I know what this line is. This is the old brake line. This is the old brake line. That doesn't even belong there. That's the old brake line, people. I put brake lines on this too. Okay, that makes me feel better. And as you see up in here, there's one connection that goes to the top of the fuel tank. I'll show you that in a minute. But behind, these Hyundais are really easy. Behind the seat, on the lower part of the seat, there's a metal plate in here with a little bit of tar that sticks on here. Okay, a little butyl. See it? Anyway, you pull that off and you can access your fuel pump. That's the beautiful thing about these little Hyundais. Now, what happened was I filled the tank up, right? And I immediately, when I pull in the driveway, because I'm going to try to run 40, 50 miles and get it to reset again, right? And I turns around, and guess what? I smell gas. So I get out of the vehicle, Look at this. I got these too. I bought these straps. I knew they were going to be pretty corroded. So as you can see, these straps right here are junk. Okay. But here's another surprise. I'm surprised these bolts came off right here, or the nuts came off them bolts. That's what holds the straps up in. One side's got the little keyway, like right there. That little keyway right there. And one side's got the bolt. Well, anyway, let's come up from underneath the car, and we'll show you what I'm talking about. So I pull in the driveway, right? And I smell fuel. I said, what the heck is that fuel smell? I've never smelled fuel with this car. I look underneath, and there's gas running out from underneath the fuel tank, because I had a full tank. And look at what I found. You see this little guy right here? Right here? That's where it's leaking. And I know you guys want some live action, so I'm going to show you. We're going to show you some live action, people. See that? Just moving the tank. It's got a full tank of fuel in it. So that little breach right there says you have an evap system problem. Okay? So, as you see, from the top of the car, like I was telling you, if you turn around and come in here, right here, that's your fuel pump assembly. I've had that out twice since I've owned this car. Very easy to do. Very easy to do to change a fuel pump on one of these. Now, as you see, let me come over here. Let me set this up because you need to see this, people. You need to see this. You see this deal here? This is rotted off. Now, it's just an intermediate pipe, okay, that runs from one side up to the filler neck, okay? Both of these. This goes from the actual fill spout. And what I did was I put a plug in here just so the gas wouldn't spurt out. And that goes up to your filler neck return line, okay? So what we're going to have to do, people, is we're going to have to pull this assembly out, right? I got to blow this all off. We're going to pull this assembly out as a unit and pull this assembly out right here. And we're going to drop it down in. We're going to check all these tubes and stuff like that over here. Check all these little brackets, these little clamps. We're going to check all these, and whatever needs fixed, we're going to fix. But as you see, your boy got one. He got one coming. Look at this. Brand new. $178. Okay, and you say to yourself, man, you're putting a lot of money in that car. Well, you know what? I like this little car. Okay, it's my little car, and I like it. All right, so the situation is I've got that, and I've got some brand new straps. We're going to fluid film this up really nice. We're going to put it back in there, and I will not rest until that evap code goes out. And this should do it. This should be everything. The only other thing that could be left, which I don't need the tank out of it in order to fix it if it is the filler spout. And that's $85. If I got to order that, I'll order a brand new one. I don't care. I do not care. As you see, I got my sponsor here, Rock Auto. If you need parts and you need them fast, you need them cheap, they'll be on your front porch before you can get done typing the code in. Rock Auto. But that's the situation. We're going to go ahead and burn this midnight oil because we got plenty of oil. Plenty of midnight oil, and we got plenty of energy. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this, and I'm going to give you an update. And the situation is going to say to you, here at the compound, we do not stop until the thing's right. Okay, we try to see the job completely through, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I just put $700 in it. What's another $200? You know, in Joe Biden's world, that's peanuts. If I had to go out and find another vehicle, I mean, how many thousands would I spend and then still have to put brakes on it and still have to check the transmission? Now, one thing I like about this, now this is a 5-speed. This is a manual transmission. You do not have to worry about the millennials stealing it, and you do not have to worry about having an automatic transmission that's going to fail. Okay? So, I would recommend if you find an old vehicle like this, especially an 04 to 05 Hyundai, give your boy a call, because especially if the body's in good shape, I plan on keeping all these parts. We're going to put them into another vehicle when this body finally gives out. But we're on the prowl for one, so if you can hit your boy up if you see one of these little 04 Hyundai Accents, preferably the hatchback, okay? Because with this little 5-speed, I get around 35 to 38 miles to the gallon, and that's not too bad. So this is your boy Bri. I'm over here at the compound, and letting you know we're getting a new fuel cell, baby.